Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a really powerful explainer we're calling the wealth of character. We spend so much of our time focusing on where people start, right? Like what kind of advantages they have or what resources they're born into. But today, we are unpacking a story that completely shatters that idea. It proves that our starting lines absolutely do not dictate our finish lines. It's this beautifully structured look at two completely different lives and how the unpredictable nature of the world eventually forces both of them to confront what truly matters.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to ask yourself a pretty tough question. If you lost all your money tomorrow, what would you have left? It's a heavy thought, isn't it? We naturally attach so much of our security and our identity to our bank accounts, our possessions, our jobs. But the source material we are exploring today challenges us to strip all of that away. It asks us to look at the foundation underneath the wealth. And to really understand this, the text introduces us to two boys. They're born on the exact same morning, in the exact same city, but into entirely different universes.
As you'll see, our source material introduces us to a massive disparity right from birth. One boy opens his eyes in this luxurious private hospital. He's surrounded by top-tier doctors, nurses, smiling family members, and piles of expensive gifts. His parents are wealthy business owners, so from the very second he takes his first breath, his inheritance and his comfortable future are totally guaranteed. But just a few miles away across that exact same city, a second boy is born in a small public hospital. His parents are poor laborers. They are already struggling just to pay the hospital bill for his birth. There are no expensive gifts here, no grand celebrations, and for sure, no promises of financial comfort. Literally, all they have to give him is love, hope, and this quiet faith that his life might somehow turn out better than theirs. Now, as they grew up, these parallel universes only became more entrenched. Our source material highlights how the rich boy lived in a sprawling mansion. We're talking luxury cars, private tutors, the whole shebang. When he wanted something, he got it instantly. No waiting, no struggling. But here's the catch. By shielding him from every single hardship, his parents unknowingly protected him from life's greatest lessons. He just never learned the true value of a dollar. Meanwhile, the poor boy was living an entirely different reality in a tiny house with cracked walls. When it rained, the roof actually leaked. Food was super scarce, and his parents would quietly skip meals just to make sure he had enough to eat, always hiding their hunger behind these brave faces.
But, despite the leaking roof and the empty stomachs, the poor boy's childhood was actually incredibly rich in perspective. Every night, his mother would smile at him and say this one powerful thing: never be ashamed of being poor. Be ashamed only if you stop dreaming. This wasn't just some comforting bedtime phrase either. These exact words became his guiding light. They acted like this internal compass that kept him moving forward through his absolute darkest, most difficult days. It taught him that his current circumstances were just a temporary setting. They weren't his permanent identity.
So what does this all mean when they hit the real world? Well, this difference in mindset became glaringly obvious when school started. The wealthy boy rolled up in luxury cars, wearing expensive clothes, carrying all the newest books. He was instantly admired by classmates simply because of his family's wealth. In stark contrast, the poor boy walked miles every single morning. He wore these worn-out shoes with holes in them and carried secondhand books in an old bag. And yeah, he faced a lot of mockery from the other kids. But rather than answering that mockery with anger or bitterness, he made a silent promise to himself. He decided right then and there that one day his success would speak much louder than their cruel words. But of course, life rarely goes exactly to plan. Just as the poor boy was finding his footing, the unthinkable happened. Tragedy struck. His father became seriously ill and could no longer work. Literally overnight, their small, fragile income completely disappeared. It left them with a mountain of unpaid bills and some truly agonizing choices. The safety net, as thin as it was totally gone. Let's move to and see how this builds, because his response to this tragedy is just incredible. Following his father's illness, he didn't just give up. He started working during the day, carrying heavy bricks, cleaning shops, doing literally any job he could find just to keep his family afloat. And amazingly, at night, because they had zero electricity at home, he would go outside and study under a streetlight. Think about that for a second. All of that exhausting grind actually paid off. He earned a scholarship and ultimately graduated with excellent results to build a highly successful career. Every single milestone he achieved was a direct tribute to those long nights under the streetlight. Now let's contrast that with the rich boy during these exact same years. He was living this incredibly comfortable life. Parties, shopping malls, expensive vacations. He fully believed success was just his birthright.
He didn't appreciate what he had because, well, he had never felt the sting of losing it. That is, until disaster struck. Massive financial problems and failed investments absolutely destroyed his family's empire. Within months, the mansion was sold off, the luxury cars were gone, and this young man who had never once worried about a price tag was now desperately struggling to find even a simple job. For the very first time in his entire life, he was introduced to genuine fear, disappointment, and totally crippling uncertainty.
And this leads us to a truly unexpected reunion. Picture this. One rainy afternoon, the former rich boy, now completely humbled, broke, and desperately searching for work, walks into a sleek, modern office building. He's just hoping for a basic entry-level job. But when he walks into the manager's office, he completely freezes. Because sitting right there, behind the large desk, is the poor boy from his childhood. The kid with the holes in his shoes is now a highly respected, successful businessman.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the profound grace shown in this moment. The former rich boy lowers his head. He's fully expecting to be humiliated, right? Like laughed out of the room or rejected by the kid he used to outshine. But instead, the successful businessman stands up, smiles warmly, embraces him like an old friend, and delivers this incredibly powerful line. Life doesn't test us to destroy us, it tests us to teach us. We all deserve a second chance. Man, that's powerful. He didn't use his position of power to punish, he used his character to uplift.
And you know what? Those words completely changed the trajectory of the former rich boy's life. He accepted the opportunity with immense gratitude. He started arriving early every single morning, taking on tasks with deep humility and really eager to learn rather than just expecting to lead. Through this grueling, honest effort, he slowly rebuilt not just his career, but his entire character. He realized, through his own sweat and effort, that success earned through hard work feels infinitely more valuable than success that is simply handed to you on a silver platter.
Fast forward years later, and we find both men standing side by side at a charity event. They are actually pooling their resources together to donate money to educate children from poor families. Looking out at the smiling faces of those kids, they both realize how their incredible journeys have shaped them. One man had successfully escaped poverty through sheer determination and relentless hard work. The other man? Well, he had successfully escaped arrogance through the painful but totally necessary medicine of humility.
So, the crucial point is that true wealth has absolutely nothing to do with money. Seriously. Temporary wealth, like money, houses, cars, businesses, that stuff can vanish overnight in a bad market. But permanent treasures, things like knowledge, discipline, kindness, and integrity, those remain forever. Once you earn them, they are locked in. They are the only true treasures that no market crash, no bad investment, and no tragedy can ever steal from you.
Which brings us to the source material's ultimate definition of true wealth. The richest person isn't the one with the biggest house or the fastest car. No way. The richest person is the one who never stops learning, never stops putting in honest work, never stops helping others who are struggling, and definitely never loses hope in the darkest moments. It's a fantastic reminder to stay incredibly humble when you succeed because you know exactly how fast it can all go away, and to stay patient when you fail because every single sunrise brings another opportunity to change your life.
Ultimately, what this story so brilliantly illustrates is that your character will always, absolutely always, be worth more than your money. Your kindness will be remembered by people far, far longer than the sides of your bank account. And your determination, that burning fire inside you to keep going when the road gets tough, will always create a future that is way brighter than whatever past you came from.
To wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this final thought to really reflect on. Life is unpredictable. The script can flip in a matter of months. So, when your circumstances change without warning, for better or for worse, what kind of character will you take with you? Will it be one built on temporary things or one built on permanent treasures? It's something to think about for sure. Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me. Keep building that wealth of character, and I'll see you in the next explainer.